What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we are back. Welcome. So I know a lot of people were like, God, man, where's Ryan going to talk about this stuff? Oh, I'm ready. Trust me, I'm ready. Pay close attention to your subscription boxes. Late uploads are definitely going to happen today. They're going to be rapid fire in your subscription boxes. And no, they're not going to be in 4K. Sorry. I'm just going to have to get these out here as quickly as possible. But the next ones will be going into tomorrow. That I promise. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and talk, man. We're going to have to definitely talk. And when I do these videos, we're not talking from a console war perspective. We're talking from a gamer's perspective. All right? So shout out to the Xbox gamers who support the channel. Obviously, PlayStation, you already know the rest. But we definitely got to break this stuff down because I've seen a lot of flip-flopping that has definitely opened my eyes. And it's really making me question how things work on YouTube. Let me tell you right now. It makes me really question it. So for the past 12 months, I have heard the narrative, especially when we do, live streams talking about exclusives, or when we do videos talking about exclusives coming to PlayStation and Nintendo or whatever, right? Any platform aside from Xbox. I always had these people, 12 months ago I had these people in my comment section saying, oh, yeah, we don't need exclusivity because, exclusivity is anti-consumer. You had dudes playing the, I would say the simp role, and saying the screaming anti-consumerism, right? That was kind of the whole thing. That was like the new simp word, anti-consumer. Everybody kept saying anti-consumer this, anti-consumer that for exclusives. Nobody seemed to really care for exclusivity. Okay. A lot has happened in the past 4 days. When Microsoft bought ZeniMax, you know what I saw on my timeline? Not just on Twitter, not just in YouTube videos or podcasts. I've seen it even in my comment section from older videos. I'm talking dudes who were so against exclusivity and was like, oh, you're so toxic because you keep talking about exclusivity like they're the second coming of Jesus, right? These very same people have flip-flopped. They've turned coat and started coming at me saying, yeah, this video didn't age well because, now they have exclusives. Yeah, you're a mad pony. You don't have games now. And I'm just sitting here laughing. I'm like, wait, so are you admitting that exclusivity is needed to be competitive in the market? Remember, it's not about filling a spreadsheet. Remember, I told you guys this before. Everybody can quote me. Everybody who listens, y'all can quote me because I said this. But it's not about filling a spreadsheet of games that are only available on your platform. No, it's about being more aggressive in the market for one, but it's also adding incentive for you to get invested into that atmosphere. See what I'm saying? If I can play all the Dragon Ball Z games strictly on PlayStation, and I'm a huge DBZ fan, right? Do you think I'm going to go anywhere else aside from PlayStation to play Dragon Ball Z? Of course not. I'm going to go to PlayStation. But if those games were everywhere, well, now I have options. It's like, well, shit. Which one do I want to go with? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, what do these systems have to bring that person into that ecosystem? Exclusives. It's always been that case. I don't know where the hell these kids or these grown men come from who all of a sudden want to flip-flop and try to come at me. Listen. I've been a good guy this entire year. I've been a good guy for the past 2 years now, okay? I'm the wrong guy you want to get on the bad side of, okay? I'm the wrong guy. Many people can vouch for me. I'm not the guy you want to get upset with. I really am not. I'm very, how you say, ferocious. If I want to be, I can be very ferocious when it comes to this. But at the same time, I don't really care, nor do I want to be. Okay? But we need to keep it 100. Exclusives have always mattered. The problem is a lot of people couldn't use exclusives, so they got mad and got upset at every other PlayStation channel who were either excited for exclusives or everything. And that's very apparent when you look at a PlayStation event. You ever notice the dislike ratio every time they show us an exclusive game? You see this salty kid come out of nowhere and say trash, or they'll try to throw some shade at it. You'll see the dislikes go up. Remember that? Every exclusive game that damn well looked absolutely amazing, they downplay. Yeah, come on. I'm going to need that to stop. But it's funny. I think it has stopped because a lot of you now have completely abandoned the very argument that you stood on, and you're making me look like a damn hero at the long term. Because I told you guys this. Exclusives are needed. It's not about bashing the console. It's not about, being extra on Twitter. It's about being realistic. Exclusivity is definitely needed for these next-gen systems. It's always been needed. Simple as that. If we didn't have exclusivity for consoles, guess what? A lot of people, I mean a shit ton of people, would be on PC right now, especially with all these games and the way these games run on console. And people are, picky and choosy, I guess you can say, if that's even a word, over whether they want frame rates or performance or graphics, which I tell you guys all the time, I want performance. But, people get in your face when you talk about performance because they don't know any better. It's just... People will be on PC. I'm telling you, the headache of console gaming will not be a thing. That's for damn sure. So let's be realistic here. Please stop. I'm happy Microsoft bought ZeniMax. I'm happy Microsoft's being more aggressive. But man, the narrative. Oh, I love the narratives that have changed all of a sudden. I love it. And yes, I paid close attention to this. It's clearly obvious that a lot of you don't know what you want in the long run. And that clearly shows. Anyway, there's that. That first one is done. Now let's get into this other situation here because ironically, PlayStation's doing something similar, but of course, it's not a big deal when PlayStation does it. See, this petty nature of PlayStation gamers getting upset over the smallest stuff that Xbox does, honestly, guys, it's getting old. Like I said this on Xbox shows, I say this on PlayStation shows at times too, but honestly, it's mostly Xbox shows because I see it from their perspective. I have seen it with my own eyes. This shit has become cringe at this point. So where am I getting this at? Okay, well, first of all, Microsoft showcased their back-and-pack games running on the Xbox Series X, okay? And this is true. All their games that were running on Xbox Series X were legit, running on there. The back-and-pack games, which, by the way, Sony has been very transparent on. But don't worry, we're going to get into that too. And before somebody comes at me weird in the comment section, I know the situation. Just hear me out. Okay? So, Microsoft in this back and pack games, okay? None of these games, I want you guys to take this account. Shout out to Jeff Grubb, who actually got his hands on the system, and he broke it down with the load times. Everybody's looking at this as some kind of downplay. They're like, well, why they're showing loading times for old games and not the new games? And I'm sitting there going, guys, you guys are missing the very big point here. All these games that were running on Xbox Series X, especially these old back-and-pack games, not a single one of these games were optimized for the hardware. And on top of all of that, they showcased their new feature, which was Smart Resume, I think it was Smart Resume, right? Where you go back and the game literally remembers it and it's right there. That stuff is cool. That's what people like to see. The fast load times, et cetera, the new user interface. People wanted to see that. They did a good job of showcasing all this stuff. It's fine. But again, the thing that people are missing is that these games were unoptimized for Series X and they were running superiorly faster and they were performing better. Okay? Now, what do we know about PlayStation 5 and back-and-pack games? We know that Sony has been very picky with the games. There's only going to be 100 games that are going to be fully optimized for PlayStation 5. 100 games. That's it. They told you 100 games are going to fully take advantage of the resources for PlayStation 5. And we can kind of already guess what those games are going to be. Those games are going to be what? The greatest hit selection. But you know one thing they did not say about the games on PS4 going into PS5? They didn't say whether or not those games are going to get a natural boost on PlayStation 5. Now, did they? Of course not. And it kind of makes people wonder and question. And it's funny. I had a conversation with some real gamers about this. We was like, yo, guys. That's a little interesting. So does that mean that we have to wait for true optimization for a lot of these games to take advantage of what Microsoft just showed, which were games that are not optimized? See what I'm saying? Do these games really do need to be optimized for PS5? That's a good question. That's a good question. And you know what's funny? We don't know the answer because PlayStation was what? Very silent. I'm telling y'all, man, Sony's been looking very spooky to a lot of people. They've been looking real spooky. And I hope I'm not the only one who sees this because it is true. They have been looking really spooky. They have not been answering the questions that a lot of people want answered. And a lot of people have been very it's all good because, PlayStation's this. And I'm sitting there going, well, if that's the case, then why are we so, against Xbox? Honestly, that's how I was. I'm like, yo, guys, well, damn. If we're gonna let Sony just walk all over us, then why the hell are we making such a big case about Microsoft? That sounds like agenda pushing to me, don't you think? I'm just saying. At the end of the day, please keep the same energy. I'm trying to be the example here. I am keeping the same energy with PlayStation. No one can say I did not keep the same energy. No one. There's no one on the internet who can say I haven't. Told it how it was. Dudes came at my neck. Dudes act like, oh, I was this X-bot in disguise. And I'm like, okay, why don't you check my PSN profile? Then they shut up. And back to the ZeniMax deal, I had people reach out to me asking me, what studio should PlayStation buy? And my reaction, now granted, I did kind of talk about this in a live stream, how Sony should reply or how Sony can reply, right? And at the end of the day, I didn't really think about that when I did that stream. I didn't really think on it. I really didn't. Now granted, Sony could buy a studio, which more likely could be Housemarque or Bluepoint, right? But does Sony really need to go all out and buy a studio to compete with Microsoft? No, they don't. And here's why. Sony studios have already been trained, they've been nurtured, and they know what games to push in the market that get the right results. Microsoft buying ZeniMax, they bought ZeniMax strictly for what? Game Pass, so they can be more competitive, not just in subscription services, but in streaming services. And of course, mobile. That's what they want. They bought those games to bring those games to those platforms so that way they can have a bigger monopoly around the world and increase revenue. That's all it is. That's literally all it is in the long run for Microsoft and Game Pass. That's it. That's really it. So to the people who are going full retard, and I use this term very loosely, but there are people who are going full retard and are crying and are so scared. You could tell in their tone, whether it be Twitter or YouTube, they're so scared about what Microsoft's doing. I'm going to need you guys to relax and chill. Let me tell you why I need you guys to relax and chill. Because the situation has not changed surrounding them. It has not changed. It really has not. PlayStation is still doing well. They're going to still be fine. They got their games. They know what they're doing. But it's just the way they're starting the gen that's making people look at them spooky. That's it. Microsoft has a long way to go to gain back the gamers' trust. Buying the studio, all this does is make people look at them like, a little differently. But the overall change is going to come down to Microsoft themselves when it comes to delivering every single thing that needs to be delivered. That's the God honest truth. And no one can say I'm lying there. No one can deny what I'm saying. That is the truth. They have a long gen to prove that they are ready to do. But right now, they've done the right step in being what? Competitive. And that's one of the things too. I'm really concerned as to whether or not do people really want competitive marketing out here with these consoles. Remember, we talk about that numerous times on this channel. I say it with you guys all the time. I want Microsoft to compete. I want Microsoft to bring the best out of PlayStation. Here they are buying ZeniMax. This is going to bring the best out of PlayStation. Why? Because Sony's going to look at the market. They're going to see how things go, and they're really going to step their game up and really compete with this. That's what's going on. And to the people who all of a sudden act like they're insiders and all of a sudden act like they know what's going on in the world, and when they come at guys like me, they came at Jack Move, they came at Porter Rock, and they go, I think J-Dub and any other PlayStation centric channel who has called out, Sony, right? And is looking at what Sony's doing and look at what Microsoft's doing and clearly see the problem in certain aspects. To you people who are coming at us, calling us closet fanboys for Xbox, I don't know what to say to you. I really don't. Now, granted, those of you who add me on PSN, why don't you hit them up and tell them, when was the last time I signed in to PS4? Answer that for them. Anyway, that's it for this video right here. I'm going to go ahead and get into my news and everything in the next one because we definitely got to talk. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But yes, Big Cloud Gaming had to vent for a long time. It's been a long time coming since I dropped one of these. So I think a lot of you know what I'm about to say next to end this video. Pipe bomb dropped. Y'all be good.